In Part 4, we look at how to manage problem behaviour. There's more to positive parenting than just encouraging appropriate behaviour. Teenagers need to learn to accept reasonable limits and cope with frustration and disappointment when they don't get what they want.
That's so unfair, you're so mean.
Teenagers learn self-control better when there are clear rules stating what is appropriate and what is not, and where parents use backup consequences for problem behaviour immediately, consistently and decisively.
Cindy, take your bag to your room.
I'll do it later.
No, do it now.
This helps prepare teenagers for getting on well at school, at work and in the wider community.
It's often useful to have a few family rules.
Don't use my stuff, man.
These might include how people speak to each other, or how they respect each other's privacy or possessions. They might also include rules about homework requirements, curfew times, or when teenagers are allowed to contact or spend time with their friends.
Well, rules and limits are usually what time to go to bed. Usually it's about 10:30 in the weekdays, and it can be any time at the weekends.
The rules pretty much be at home before dark, do your homework, respect your mother, respect your father.
It's best to have only a few family rules that address commonly occurring problem behaviour. Where possible, rules should be positive and state what family members should do rather than what they should not do. They should be fair for everyone, easy to follow and easy to back up.
Here's an example of a good family rule. Respect the private space and belongings of others. Discuss with your teenager what family rules to adopt and how to define them. Holding a family meeting is a useful way of doing this.
Directed discussion is a useful strategy to help teenagers learn to follow family rules, especially in the days following a discussion about a new rule. It involves calmly gaining your teenager's attention, prompting them to acknowledge that they haven't followed an agreed rule, getting them to say what they should have done instead, and then getting them to practice doing it correctly.
Directed discussion works best on the first few occasions when a rule is broken or ignored. In this example, the rule is about people picking up after themselves.
Akil, what is the rule that we discussed in regards to picking up after yourself?
Oh, you got to pick up after yourself?
That's correct. Can you please do that, Ben?
Yeah.
And when they follow the rule, make sure you praise them.
Akil, thank you for following the rules in regards to picking up after yourself.
Rules are useful as a guide for behaviour we know we want to happen. As well as agreeing on family rules, there will often be other times when we want a teenager to cooperate with our requests. The way we make requests influences whether they'll cooperate or not, and whether we end up having to deal with problem behaviour.
Bruno, can you please take out the trash?
Requests made at long distance will often be ignored. Poorly timed requests may lead to an argument.
As teenagers begin to become more like adults, they don't respond well to being told what to do.
Lauren, we need to go.
I'm almost done.
Lauren, we need to go right now.
You know what? I'll go when I'm ready.
Getting their cooperation is therefore more difficult. Making clear, calm requests increases the chances of getting that cooperation.
If I was in here and she was playing the music loud, I'd shout, "Turn that music down." But I don't now. I go to her and I say, "Kathy, would you mind just lowering the music a little bit, please?" And she will do.
Wait for the right moment. No one likes being interrupted. Then get close and politely gain your teenager's attention. Stay calm and say exactly what you'd like them to do. Give your teenager time to cooperate. Depending on what you want them to do, you might negotiate a time that suits you both. And don't forget to praise them when they cooperate.
Oh, Lewis, can you put the shopping away for me, please?
Yeah, can I do it after this song?
Oh, how long's the song going to be on for then?
About 3 minutes.
Almost 3 minutes. Okay, well, it says 1918 on your thing, so when that's 3 minutes up, will you be able to do that then? So you check the timer, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You know, by saying please and thank you. And he actually says, oh, I like that. So it's about talking positively as well, because then your children can talk positively back to you and to other children as well. Yeah, I've had to change some of the way how I speak to the children, but that's like over the years though, yeah.
If they cooperate, make sure you thank them for following your request. If they don't cooperate, don't repeat the request. Stay calm and apply the backup consequence immediately.
A logical consequence is something a parent should plan before they need to use it. When you apply a consequence, try to act immediately a problem occurs. Be decisive and be consistent.
Normally when we tell him to do something, and we pretty much do follow through, because we don't want the brothers to say, well, you know, you didn't do that to him, so why are you making me do it? So pretty much it's as far as that, we are pretty strict because we want them to understand.
Hello? Oh, hi, could you just hold on a second? I've just got to get Ash to turn the music down. Thanks. Ashley, could you turn the music down, please? I'm just on the phone, I can't hear. Thank you. Sorry about that. Sorry? Did you say Monday? Oh, do you mind if I call you back? I've just got to get Ash to turn this music down. It's just so loud. Sorry. Okay, thank you.
Be prepared to remove access to the activity or item that's related to the problem and explain why you're doing it.
Ashley, it didn't do as I asked, so the music's going off for the hour.
And remember to act promptly. If you delay too long, your teenager will think they've successfully avoided following your request.
Logical consequences work best when they're brief. 15 to 30 minutes is usually enough the first time a problem occurs. But be prepared to remove the activity or item for a longer time if it happens again on the same day or if it's a frequent problem. Never threaten to apply a consequence.
Brooke, did you get the washing off the line?
No, I'm busy.
Brooke, if you don't go and get the washing off the line, you're not having any friends this weekend. You're staying home with me doing housework.
You can't do that to me, Mum.
Yes, I can. Now
Threats tend to increase the emotional temperature for both parents and teenagers and makes a fight more likely.
That is so unfair.
When parents use threats a lot, teenagers usually learn to ignore any request until it contains a threat, and then parents find they'll have to use threats more often. Teenagers need to learn instead, if they don't follow the first calm request, a consequence will follow. A parent will also need to have a backup consequence ready in case a teenager refuses to accept the logical consequence. This might involve the loss of a more important privilege.
But the thing was, she wouldn't go to school. And I said, no school, no computer. So I was unplugging it all and she came in and full, what's it like, you know. But there was a consequence for that. She didn't have it for 2 days and I took it off her, you know. So I did stick to it.
Dealing with teenagers' emotions can be very difficult for parents.
Don't speak to me like that. I'm not driving you to the movies now. You can find your own way there. You can walk if you want.
Teenagers need to learn how to calm themselves when they're in distressing situations.
Sometimes because she has been violent now and again, I do get a bit frightened whether to carry through the consequence at the time or whether to leave it till she's in a calm situation.
As parents, our job is to provide support and encouragement when teenagers are struggling with their emotions.
How can you believe him? That's not the truth. No. How can you believe him? I thought you was my friend. No, I thought you was my friend.
Parents need to work out how much support their teenager needs and give this and no more. If parents take complete responsibility for solving teenagers' problems, they'll never learn to do it for themselves.
When Chris gets very emotional or angry, I just give him a space. I just let him just go to his room, and usually that works out.
Whatever, bye.
Teenagers can become emotional quite quickly. This typically includes being angry, fearful or sad.
I'm really upset and I can't believe that she'd do this.
Sometimes these emotions are brief and don't require any action by a parent. At other times they may continue or escalate and need to be dealt with. These occasions are important as they provide opportunities for your teenager to learn about coping with disappointments and frustrations they will face during their life.
When a teenager seems upset by something, it's best to approach it in 2 stages. First, acknowledge how they're feeling and let them know you can see they're upset. Then when they calm down, check to see if they want your help.
First, stop what you're doing and if possible, give them your full attention.
Ooh, what's up, love?
It's this party on Friday. You won't let me go to it. All my friends are going and they're making fun of me because you're not letting me go.
While your teenager is talking, keep quiet and listen closely to what they're saying. When they pause, simply let them know you understand that they're upset.
I can see you're really angry about this.
Yeah, I am angry. I really want to go.
Don't interrupt while they're speaking or tell them they're wrong. And don't try to make them feel better. Just allow them to tell you about it without getting drawn into a discussion or argument.
Yes, I am upset. You're ruining my life. You're so mean. I really want to go.
The most important thing is to show them you're listening. When they pause, you might check what they're upset about, but keep your focus on the emotion rather than what may have caused it. Try to help your teenager put a name to the feeling. Once they've learned to label a feeling correctly, it's easier to talk about and deal with. And reassure them that it's okay to feel that way.
You really are angry, and it's perfectly normal for you to be angry when things don't work out how you want them to.
Yes, but I want to go to this party. I won't have any friends left at all.
Sometimes it may be appropriate to share a time when you last felt that way too. But don't use that to distract them from their own emotions. If they calm down, ask your teenager what they want you to do. This may be just to listen, to help them cope with their current feelings, or perhaps to set a goal for change.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Just let me go to the damn party, will you?
If your teenager doesn't calm down or directs their frustration at you, suggest a cooling off period and set a time to talk again later.
We can't discuss this while you're so upset. I think we should take some time to calm down and we'll discuss this a bit later.
It won't make any difference. I know it won't.
How about we meet back here in 30 minutes from now?
Okay.
Lisa and I acted it out, and I was nobody be the teenager. Says, go on, I'll be the teenager. I've had 4, I know how they carry on. And it surprised me that when I was shouting at her and she was talking back to me, I automatically toned my voice down and I couldn't shout at her. And that really surprised me. I couldn't shout back at her because she was talking to me quietly. And that really it came home to me that day, that how important that was. And so through carrying it through, it's just made things a lot better. You know, and everybody say, it can't be that simple. I said, but it is. It is. It's that simple. Just being quiet. So, you know, it was like everybody was on the ceiling. And, I mean, how can things function right when everybody's on the ceiling and everybody's temper's afraid? And, yeah, we're all a lot calmer, a lot better. Yeah, it's very good.
After they've calmed down, if you think they want to problem solve, prompt them through the steps described earlier. Clarify the goal. List possible solutions. Consider likely consequences. Select a solution and come up with a plan to try out. If your teenager continues to be distressed for several weeks and nothing you do seems to help, seek professional advice.
Sometimes teenagers learn to use their emotions to escape from or avoid things they don't want to do.
I'm not going to get this stuff done, Mum.
Why?
Because it's too much for me to do. I need you to write me a note that I'm sick so I can hand it in to the teacher tomorrow.
Well, let's have a look. What dates do your assignments have to be handed in by?
Can you just write a note, please?
It's okay, Makia. We can sit down. We will go through everything together.
Please, no. Can you just write the note, please?
I don't
please?
need to. No, it's
please,
okay.
Mum.
In these situations, it's best to ignore the emotional reaction or perhaps prompt them to try something more constructive. If their emotions are directed at you, the most important thing is to stay calm. After you've listened to your teenager, they may be able to move to problem solving.
I don't
Please?
need to. No, it's
Please,
okay.
Mum.
Makia, it's okay. We'll get everything organised, okay? We'll sort it all out. It's okay. Come on, show me. Where's your first assignment? Which one? This one? Okay. Now this has to be handed in tomorrow morning?
Yeah, first period tomorrow.
First period. Okay, so what exactly do you have to do?
Sometimes a parent will need to make it very clear on several occasions that the emotional behaviour is not going to help them solve the problem, and it's up to the teenager to think of a better way of dealing with it.
How about you start to problem solve all this?
If your teenager has difficulty following new rules and directed discussion or these other strategies don't work, you may need to set up a behaviour contract. This will help establish the new behaviours.
Set up a behaviour contract for rule following using the steps discussed in the previous section on encouraging appropriate behaviour. A family meeting can be used to discuss what the rules will be and what the rewards will be for following them.
There was a £2 on there, and for every time they fell out with each other or shouted or inappropriate behaviour, 2p was taken away. They soon learned that 2p added up was quite a lot of money. The other thing that I found very useful was that if they involved myself in an argument, 5p was taken away. If it was mum, and I was involved and actually I didn't need to be, 5p got taken away.
A good way to monitor rule following is to give your teenager a number of points in advance each day. Every time they break a rule, they lose a point.
So do you understand about the arguing and getting along with each other?
Yeah.
What happens if you have an argument?
2p away.
2p away. If I have to be involved, what does that mean?
5p away.
5p away.
At the end of the day or the week, they can then exchange the number of points they have left for an agreed reward or privilege.
One of the rules we have to have in the house are going off the computer at a certain time.
Kathy sticks to the rules fairly well. I should say about out of the week she'll stick to it about 5. And if she sticks to it 7, she gets an extra reward. You know, so it was a bit difficult at first. It was no, but when she realised I was sticking with it, then yeah, she's fine. She's sticking to them very well.
The routines we've looked at to help parents manage problem behaviour are setting up a few clear family rules, using directed discussion for initial rule breaking, making clear, calm requests, and backing up requests with logical consequences.
What's up, love? Just let me go to the damn party, will you?
We also looked at how to deal with teenagers' emotions. This was divided into 2 steps: acknowledging the emotion and asking if you can help. Finally, we reviewed how to use family meetings and behaviour contracts to make changes that will last.
In the final section, we'll introduce a routine to help manage risky behaviour.